Hello, hello, welcome to Sleeping Giant, everyone. We are playing World of Warships Legends. I am your host today, Phoenix61. We are rocking the Duncan. We got a pretty good game on in our Duncan tonight. I think at time of recording we may have beaten our previous XP record. I'm sure someone out there I'm sure somebody out there can do better than me. We're not that great of a player, but we are currently, at the time of recording here, holding the XP record for the Duncan out there on World of Warships Legends builds, right? So we'll submit a new one tonight. Challenge accepted, right? So we are nice and broadside to the enemy team right now. We don't want to stay this way for very long, right? But just trying to maintain a little bit of position here. I didn't want to duck back behind this island and then not be able to shoot anybody. So if we do get spotted, I will slam the gas forward, right, and turn away. But since we're not spotted, we're going to back up and turn in and try and get ourselves a little bit more angled, right? So I have noticed, and we'll hold off on firing here for just a second while we do that. But I have noticed here, and of course now we're spotted, so we're just going to dump our bullets anyway. But yeah, I have noticed with this ship that sort of the defensive, moving away, pointing away angle seems to work the best. And then I saw this smoke screen, so I thought I would back up into it, but it's an Italian battleship, so it's the rolling smoke screen, so I couldn't quite get into it. So now I'm a little bit vulnerable to this Minnesota who did not like me shooting at him and had him on fire. So we'll go full forward, see, and we didn't take too bad of a hit there, so we lucked out a little bit there. That could have been quite a bit worse than it was. But yeah, we'll start moving forward and turning away as we fire spam him, right? So it looked like if he damaged Con that first one, now he's got 2 fires on him. Yeah, it looks like he's burning. So we'll pick on somebody else while that fire burns. Giuseppe Verdi goes dark just as we're about to be able to pull the trigger there, just as we're getting reloaded. And then he is moving away as well, so he's just going to be out of range. I didn't have a lot of faith in that shot. So we'll move back a little bit. We do have this. We do have our build focused on HE shells and range and accuracy. So I'm using my same commander now that I use on like my Marlborough and Conqueror. And actually it doesn't have at least in the overview, it doesn't describe it. It doesn't have the superior HE penetration shells, right? But I did look, in the fire setting chances were actually better on this ship with this loadout than they were on my Marlborough. So we are getting some pretty sweet fire triggers that you'll notice happen, right? So it's kind of just one of those things where it's, do a build based on the strength of your ship. Don't build to try and counteract weaknesses, right? So this ship's going to be good with range and HE shells, then we're going to build for range and HE shells to make them even better, right? That is at least my personal strategy, right? So we need to get into a position. It's really nice back here because we're not getting spotted, but then there's not much for us to shoot at, right? So if you want to participate in the game and help your team to win, especially if you're a battleship, you need to be able to shoot your guns at something, right? And we don't have anything we can shoot our guns at. It is a little unfortunate we don't have anybody spotting for us at the moment. There's only 2 destroyers on each team in the game here. Our destroyer that was, kind of challenging the B cap, he looked like he took some damage, and so he had to retreat, which is the preferred thing to do. Don't sit in there and die, right? Don't try and muscle it out. You're way more useful to your team if you're alive than you are if you man it out and die, right? So just keep that in mind. So our destroyer did the smart thing, moved away from the zone, gave up on that. You can always kind of see what plays out, come back and take that zone back later, right? Alright, so we are a little bit broadside to the enemies here. We do use our engine boost to try and minimize this risk here, and that's when we do see their destroyer pop up. Yeah, we had some like game lag this night, and I was like so annoyed with it. I think it was like, I don't know, it was like a big football night or something. Maybe everyone was streaming football. I don't know, but I was like, I was so annoyed. Like I eventually ended up rage quitting the game, being like, it's so annoying to play like this. But yeah. So that's why you see, me like the ship like jolt a little bit there. But yeah, it gets better. So we'll take our torpedo shots at this bomber, and this is the thing that I love about this ship is this just awesome torpedo angle. You can basically fire them out the front, because what they do is they come out the like front side-ish area and they curve in the direction that you were aiming them, right? So I switched to AP here, thinking this Palmer was gonna stick his nose out, but then he kind of looks like he's being a little more hesitant than I was hoping. But yeah, we'd be able to get some nice AP rounds into his side would be ideal, right? If he keeps moving, he's going to take some torpedo hits here. And these torpedoes are brutal. It's like 29,000 damage. Watch the chunk of damage he takes when, look at this, 21,000. So it is all dependent on the ship that you're attacking, right? So he's a battleship. He's got some torpedo protection, right? But yeah, if you go and look in the stats, the like max torpedo damage is like 29,000, so it's more than a Shimakaze, right? So we'll use this other one, and hopefully, and he has torpedoes as well, so he needs to die before he gets able to get those off. Yep. But he cannot shoot out the front of his ship, so we win this time, right? But yes, this is the experience that I love with this ship. These torpedoes are just so much fun. The enemies just don't expect it. It's a fairly new ship, which is part of why we currently have the XP record. Not that many people have played it yet. I shouldn't say that. Like tons of people are playing with this ship, but nobody's posting their XP records. Like, we'll wait till the losers post all of theirs, and then we'll go in and whip them out. So this Worcester, like, we just had like an awesome shot on him, and I was kind of hoping to get more Citadel hits and less over penetrations, but it is what it is, right? But that would have been an awesome dub strike to get out of him. And then we've got a Marble hanging back, so I think he's paying attention to our other battleship that's kind of further out. This is a kind of a risky thing that we're doing here. So this ship I struggle with, you'll take quite a bit of damage going nose in at people. So it's always so tempting to force yourself on people and go in nose first, especially since you've got these torpedoes at the front. But I've been getting my butt kicked by ships that have those bigger caliber guns, like Yamatos and Musashis and stuff like that. And Minnesota probably could do some pretty gnarly damage to us, and like Montana's have taken us out pretty good. So that's why I find like that defensive angle of like moving away has always been a little bit better, right? So we'll take our shot here at this Minnesota. We're kind of keeping an eye on what the Worcestershire sauce was doing. He's moving around the island here. And then we are in range of secondary batteries, but we already triggered our secondary battery before. So this is when this Giuseppe Verdi comes out, and he's like, you know what, Minnesota, I'm going to take this torpedo. But it looks like he's going to slow down enough to miss it. But we'll send another one. We got more. The range on them's great, too. It's like 10 kilometers, so, you can really kind of plan ahead with those, right? So I'm trying not to be too broadside to these battleships, but I also want to get around so that I can finish off this Worcester, right? I call them Worcestershire sauce before, because that's funny to me, I guess. But yeah, our middle rear awkward turret position wasn't able to do much damage to him there. And then of course we are super, super crazy low on health. But we're playing a little bit of a cat and mouse game here, right? So, but he's gonna keep us spotted with sonar. We did get a torpedo hit. That was probably the Giuseppe Verdi probably took that torpedo hit. But it was like that Worcester died right at the same time we got that torpedo. It was like, that wasn't mine, was it? I didn't shoot a torpedo at him. So we'll swing around, we'll get this zone capped. I'm a little bit nervous about what the destroyer was doing, but he's not challenging the zone. So we'll go and challenge this Marlboro. That's been just kind of hanging out here. I don't know what he's been doing, but like I said before, if you're a battleship and you're not able to shoot your guns, you're kind of a useless ship, right? So, but he had quite a bit of health left. So we'll see if we can't get our torpedo going. Just making sure I slowed down a little bit there just to make sure that we got the zone cap before we went out, right? So, because if he was in a position to be able to shoot us while we're still trying to capture the zone, we wouldn't, he would reset our capture, right? So, but we'll sneak around. We switch to AP since hopefully he's going to be a little bit broadside to us. We'll get this torpedo off. Yeah, he's got tons of health left, but he's going to be a little broadside. So we'll pound him with 4 Citadel hits, and then this torpedo is going to finish him off. Use the damage con to get rid of that fire because we have 0 health left, but that gives us the devastating strike and puts us up to 226,000 damage. YOLO! Alright. This destroyer, we're going to, hopefully he's not going to be able to shoot us. The fire would probably end us at this point. So we'll switch to, he's the only guy left, right? So we'll switch back to our high explosive shells. And then we'll swing around and challenge him, right? So if he gets us, it's not a big deal. Like, there's 3 other ships on my team. I have full confidence that they'll be able to win, if anything, on points, right? But yeah, so we'll swing around here. If he spots us, and then he might just be tempted to just shoot at us, so we could probably survive a couple of bullets from him, enough to get our shells off at him, right? So I'll send torpedoes in. There he is. He showed himself. He got a little too close. We'll send everything we got. Come on, secondary batteries, finish him off. Devastating strike, close quarters expert, and Confederate right there with the win too. That's a pretty good game. That was a fun game too. But yeah, you could see us going in and rushing into that zone just ruined our health. I was, to be honest, pretty lucky to have stayed alive through that encounter. But it worked out for us. I think I got a GG from this guy that just messaged us. But yeah, 37-27 for XP. That puts us at the top of the leaderboard. We'll submit that on World of Warships Legends builds, right, for a record. And we'll probably see what kind of cash we made too. 400 grand. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. We'll quick go through how I have the commander build set up. But like I said, this is actually Andrew Cunningham that we're using. There is I think there's a commander. When this tech tree released, there was a calendar event for a commander. That was a little more catered towards this tech tree of ships. So some people may have that, and it might be a little bit better of a situation. But this is what I've done. So for the most part, we're boosting HE shells, range, and accuracy, and that's what we went with for inspirations and all these other perks that we're picking here too, right? So this one would give you more AP shell damage, but since we use our HE shells quite a bit, I didn't use that. And then main battery dispersion, so it's a little bit better accuracy. And then main battery range, right? And then of course I'm using will to rebuild. I almost always use will to rebuild with my battleships, but some people like fire with fire. That's another popular one as well. But yeah, so if you're in a game with me, if you notice me and I'm low on health and I'm in a battleship, come hang out. We'll survive together, right? That is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Now is a good time to hit the like button on the video. Of course, only if you actually like the video. Don't like my videos if you didn't like it. That doesn't make sense. Don't be silly. But please do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do World of Warships videos every day. So, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.